Good morning, good afternoon, depending on wherever you at the time of this recording. This is episode 114 of the Restricted Zone podcast, and I'm back with a great crew today. Man, Cranjic, introduce yourself to the people, man.
Man, you already know who it is. The smartest man on the podcast, back at it again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mar, introduce yourself to the crowd, man.
What's up, Colin? Thanks for having me, man. We already about to have a good episode, like always.
Always, man. I can't wait. Johnny, introduce yourself to the people, man.
Hello, world. Just Johnny tapping in again, baby. The analyst, not the advocate, just the analyst. Hey, why is Kendrick brushing with the wave cap? Like he's just too cool over there. Too cool.
I had to have an introduction, so I figured I'd brush the Dewey.
All right. And then we bring it back to the main star of this episode. Introduce yourself and give a round of applause. Chris, introduce yourself to the Restricted Zone fans, man.
Welcome one, welcome all. I'm glad you were able to witness greatness. Let's just get right to it.
Oh man, let's get right into it. I know you guys are ready. We haven't been out for a couple of days, but we're back and it was straight basketball. But before we even get started, we definitely want to give our heartfelt condolences to the victims out in Denver, Colorado, and just the mass shootings that's been taken over since the Nuggets have won the NBA championship. Johnny, go ahead and just definitely address.
Yeah. Real quick, much congratulations to the Denver Nuggets, but real quick, our hearts do go out, man. It was some tragedies that did happen during like 3.5 hours after the game. Over the past 2 days, some tragedies have happened. 3.5 hours after the game, Chief Officer Ron Thomas reported to Denver police that it was like a quote unquote drug deal happened to go wrong out in the streets of Denver while people were celebrating, and 20 rounds were fired into the crowd and over 9 people were wounded. And this is about 3.5 hours after the game. Our hearts do go out to those people. They were treated at the hospital. I didn't see or read anything about anybody passing away that night, and so we thank God for that. And actually, the day of the parade was just as bad, unfortunately, as well. Sergeant Justin died. Justin died. He's a sergeant for the Denver police. He was accidentally struck by a fire truck, and he was rushed to the hospital with lower leg injuries. So we're praying for a full speedy recovery for you, sir. Appreciate your service and everything you do. And also, Chief Officer Ron Thomas also reported to Denver police that unfortunately, two more males were shot. It was a target shooting at the Denver parade on 17th Street and Curtis Street, and two victims were shot, unfortunately, and they're still looking for the shooter. So our hearts go out. It was a couple of tragedies over the past couple of days in Denver, but nonetheless, it's still something to celebrate for the Denver Nuggets.
Definitely. So with that, we definitely give if anyone else has anything else they want to add before we go on. So
One more thing to add. We're gonna send out prayers and a shout out to the Lewis family. Ray Lewis's son died. Ray Lewis III was just confirmed dead. There's other sources have confirmed that he has died. So shout out to the Lewis family and praying for them as well.
Definitely, nothing but blessings and prayers going up.
Absolutely.
To anyone that went through anything tragic over the past couple of weeks. We just wish nothing but the best for you guys, and we definitely keep you guys in our thoughts and our prayers. So definitely. So everyone, don't forget to check on them. Say thank you to your loved ones. Appreciate the people you have here because life is very, very short. You just don't know. So with that being said, thanks a lot. We wanted to take a moment out of the episode to definitely address those. All right, Kendrick, go ahead, man.
Well, as we brought up earlier, it was the Denver Nuggets who won the NBA Finals. They're the NBA champions. First time in their organization's history they win the NBA Finals. The last time they had a chance at the NBA Finals, they wasn't even the NBA really. They was in the the ABA league, right? Or the
ABA league.
American Basketball Association.
Sure was.
So, I mean, listen, we got to give them a shout out. It's been almost 50 years. Boom, they get it. They get it because they built it brick by brick. as some would say.
Tell him again.
I'm not going to
Tell him again.
But they built it brick by brick. We talking about a second round pick out of where he from, Chris? Where he from?
Zambia.
I mean, two-time MVP. He won it back to back. He was like Jordan 96 and 97.
Whoa!
He won it back to back. Didn't win it this year. He said, I don't care. I hoop. That's it. I hoop and I win. He proved this point. The man was almost averaging a triple-double the entire playoffs. Hooping. That is the definition of hooping. Him and his co-star Jamal Murray. Oh, there was talks. Jamal Murray, is Jamal Murray like that? Is he him? They looking at him like, is he James Harden over him? He said, oh, word, okay. Watch this. Y'all playing with me because I was hurt. Y'all disrespecting me because I was hurt. Now look at it. Now we can't say nothing. He shut us up. He was like, He's looking like a top 5 guard in the league. I'm just saying, after that playoff performance, a top 5 guard in the league. That's just me. I could be wrong. But we gonna get it started. We gonna get it started with Chris, because since he's the Nuggets fan, we want to hear your thoughts. I understand. This your team. How you feeling after a win like that?
I don't even know the word. Stupendous is the best word to describe it. Stupendous!
That's a good word.
It's a very good word. Kendrick, you labeled off everything I wanted to say.
Nah.
As of now, I know we said this before in the past, but as of now, I don't want to hear anybody say Joel Embiid.
Oh,
no more.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, boy, run the odds. Oh, run the odds.
Well, you, come on. Let's not do that. There are other great.
We
we
will
gotta get into it.
We
Do we gotta get into it?
We will.
Should we get into it?
We will.
Should we get into it?
Nah.
It's deceased. We don't even know who that is.
Whoa!
Exactly.
Hey.
We ain't gonna say deceased. We ain't gonna say that. He did win an MVP. We gotta at least say.
Just talk about Denver, bro.
The reigning MVP.
I am. The real MVP.
Don't say that.
Hold up. So we talk about this all the time. So, first of all, Jokic is MVP without a crown at this point, because we know he's the real MVP.
Ooh.
I don't
Okay.
think what Joel Embiid did in the regular season anymore, because it's pointless. And this
It was a regular season award.
I understand that.
You care when Jokic was.
But who was the best player all year? Only one.
If we being honest, and B only got that joint because Jokic already got his too. They felt bad for him. It was like, here, just give it to Joel.
No, not to. Come on now. Don't
feel
do
bad for
that.
30. You don't feel
I
bad
want him to give it back.
saying.
Don't say it was a pity award.
I'm just saying, if
you don't
Jokic
feel
did
bad
not-
for 30 plus a
Chris,
game. You
I'm
don't feel
saying.
any sympathy.
I'm saying, bro, if Jokic didn't already win,
Let's
two,
talk
I
about
think
this.
he'd be
Talk
MVP
about
right
Denver.
now, bro. All right, we gotta talk about Embiid.
Hold on.
About it.
See,
Hold
my.
on. I'm glad you
If
said
y'all want to
something.
talk about it, we don't gotta talk about it,
I
right?
just want to bring something up, bro. I just want to bring something up real quick about Joel Embiid. We're just gonna go off not crazy stats, just the regular stats. For the regular season, Joel Embiid averaged 33 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists. It's very solid, very good. Now let me tell you what Nikola Jokic did in just 20 games.
Nah, glad.
30 points,
13
rebounds, and 9 assists.
Mm.
Shooting 57% from the field and over 40% from 3.
Okay.
The personification of greatness. Because this man can't jump to save his life. And I think he might have dunked the ball on the total of 5 times in these entire playoffs. But he cooked everybody that was in front of him. From Rudy Gobert, bum ass, and to injury-prone AD, to Bam. I will give Bam his credit.
You got to, because you can't give it to nobody else on that team. You got to give it to Bam. You literally got to give the entire Heat.
Outside of game five, Bam was hooping, but Jokic still outplayed him. Now let's talk about Jamal Murray. He did.
Bro, Bam had 2 good games. To be
Bam
honest,
was the main. But Bam was really like, I don't know. He had to do something. Jimmy wasn't giving him nothing.
I will give you guys time to. I will give you guys time to debate later.
and 5. He ain't do nothing.
I will give you time.
Yeah.
I will give you guys hit him all the time to debate later while I listen. But it's my time now.
Sorry about that. Sorry, my good sir.
The champion's
It's okay.
time.
It's okay. Again, just for the public and for you guys on here, I need to apologize about the blasphemous thing I said about James Harden. That man can't lace Jamal Murray's shoes in the playoffs. He can't lace his shoes. Jamal Murray, I was skeptical due to the fact that Jamal Murray hadn't played in 2 years. And this man literally took his game to a whole nother freaking level.
Sure did.
To the point where, yes, Kendrick, I do firmly believe that Jamal Murray is a top 5 point guard in this league. And he better have some all-star appearances coming in the near future. He better get a Supermax deal by the time his contract is up. He deserves all of it.
Crazy.
The team that we made, they're crazy.
I'm just saying to them, like, you came at Embiid, you came at hard, you talking crazy. I come from out of jumped in already, but go ahead, continue what you said.
Can't argue facts, man.
Michael, I'm not gonna take too much time on this, but Michael Porter Jr., even though you are a certified Jack, you stepped up when you needed to step up. But boy, oh boy, you are a certified Jack. I will say it again. Aaron Gordon, way to play above your pay grade.
I heard they called him seatbelt the entire time.
Hey man, he was strapping Jimmy Butler. I mean, Jimmy was going crazy on everybody except Aaron Gordon. I'm just saying.
Called him seatbelt though.
He got everybody he needed to guard and did enough for them to win. He strapped KD a couple of games because KD was shooting terrible. Strap Jimmy Butler. I could even say strap LeBron.
Yeah, strap LeBron.
Strap LeBron.
Strap LeBron.
Steve was ready for this.
I heard Aaron Gordon ran down the court and he kept saying click click to them in their ear. Like how you click a seatbelt in? He was like click click. That's what I heard.
Yeah. He made all them boys buckle up. He made all them boys buckle up. And again, I've said this many times, but once again, Mar, thank you for releasing Bruce Brown. That man, I don't even know what to say about that man. I just hope he comes back next year because he has a player option and he's due to get paid because he balled out. I hope he comes back to Denver. I hope he comes back. What'd you say? Huh?
Me again. I am a Luka Doncic fan. I am no longer a Nets fan, so you don't have to thank me.
It's over.
I will thank you because you deserve it. And like you said, Kendrick, brick by frickin' brick. My man was drafted during a Taco Bell commercial. It is now the undisputed best player in this whole wide world.
The best player in this draft class.
Yeah, he could. DeAndre ain't so bad, but
the best player in the whole wide world. There's nobody close to this man right now. It's just beautiful to see. Honestly, I know it's early, but we might repeat next year. I want to run it back. It was so fun to watch it once. I want to watch it twice.
Ooh.
Let's run it back.
Ooh.
Oh,
let's run it back.
Let's.
The only person that might not be on the team next year is Bruce Brown. Outside that, everybody else will be back. He's the only person that might not be back. So why not run it back?
I think he might pick up that player option just to run it back.
He could. Or Denver, or he can opt out. Denver slot him an extra 10, 15, 20 mil. Come on back. We got money for you. Come on back. You see what this team could do. You see what we could do. It's Denver's time. Time to run this shit up.
Right.
Oh man.
What my man Mike Malone said today? We want to run that shit back. Mike Malone said that. Let's go, Coach Mike. Run that shit back.
Coach Mike is crazy.
I would like to open up the floor to all of you guys. Specifically, Colin.
What I do?
I told you would rue this day.
No, I don't. Congratulations, though. Shout out to y'all.
What do you have to say? What do you have to say about all this?
Shout out to the Kentucky guard Jamal Murray, man, just representing Kentucky to the highest level. Yeah, and then Jokic, second round. A lot of second round picks have been having a lot of success stories over the years, but Jokic by far is probably the best second round ever. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm not. Yeah,
he's the best second round pick ever.
He's the best second round. Not even for debate. Maybe who knows? 20 years later, who knows? But nah, as of now, I don't see a second round pick having that type
by
of
far
ever.
Leaps and freaking bounds.
I don't see a second.
Ever say that blasphemous? You refer to him as the best player in the world. That's what you refer to him as.
From the hip,
Joel Embiid will never be.
I mean, he could become the best player if he go to the Heat or something. You know, I don't know. Just not on the Sixers.
No, Kendrick.
He will never leave.
Never.
I need him to leave. I just need that whole team to leave.
I don't want to talk about Embiid, but y'all could go with this. Is Embiid top 10?
Embiid I don't give a about Embiid, honestly. He could be top 5, 10, 15. He can also be off the Sixers, but I really want him to.
He can't be top 5. Definitely can't be top 5.
He can be top 10, Seam.
I think he's top 10.
You got to give him top 10. You got to give him top 10. You got to give him top 10.
Yeah. Seam has entered the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Seam, top 5 in his team, top 5 in his position or top 5 period?
No, he 2 in it. He number 2 in his position.
He 2? Come on. Yeah. Come on. You really gonna sit there and say, damn?
He's a distant second for sure, but he's still second.
Johnny, you the advocate. Are you advocating for Joel?
I'm trying to see what top 5 we're talking about.
He's top 3 center easily.
Top 3? Number 2.
We gonna put him
top 3.
He's better than number 2.
And beating
top 3, he's
AD
not 3.
Far,
I'm cool.
And beating AD not far. That's all I'm saying, bro.
But
Jokic the last few years.
Hold on. Oh, see.
Come on, Chris. We trying to argue about second place right now.
Joel AD far, but Jokic leaps and bounds over both of them bulls.
Yeah, Jokic.
Bro, we was trying to argue about second place.
It's not. It's not.
But back to my statement. Yeah, Jokic by far is the best. There'll probably never be a second round pick that come and get back-to-back MVPs.
You keep talking about the second round pick. Refer to him as the best player in the world and keep it pushing.
The pick don't mean nothing at this point, bro.
The best player in the world. And yeah, man, he was drafted during the Taco Bell commercial. That's crazy. So that's a hell of a success story. I'm sure that's going to probably motivate a lot of second rounders in the future. Probably not to his level or extent, but give them hope. Like, hey, we can make it into the league. It's not just the first rounders. So
you like yo. See, I'm sorry.
Let him, Chris.
No. Whoa. Hold up. Time out.
That's not even a rule. That's like a
time out.
A piece of
Did
grass.
you hear this man just said? He just said hope it motivates other second rounders. Bro, you like the damn media at this point. You trying to talk about other stuff besides Nikola Jokic, who's the only person you should be talking about right now.
Motivate second rounders. Jokic is going to motivate.
After all the talk I heard from you,
He wasn't talking. It wasn't talk. It was just
real quick.
Thank you, Johnny.
No. I'm not even gonna listen to none of that. Chris. I'm gonna tell you what it is. Colin got the best chance to be the politician out of all of us, and he refused to tap into that potential. He done. Bro, you literally keep talk about Nikola Jokic. He's talking about everything else but Nikola Jokic. I'm just saying directly. He's avoiding it. He is avoiding it.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Motivate second rounders, but
what's he
motivate a whole generation of players.
I guess that came out wrong, but I really listen. Jokic's the best center.
No, it's like he's talking. It's like Tom Brady in the 6th round. He's trying to bro, he's giving him his flowers. I see the point you
Do
make.
you hold on?
Like,
Do you call time?
He's just trying to say like,
Well,
Time out.
what you about to
Johnny.
say is crazy.
So you mean to tell me you call Tom Brady the best 6th round quarterback ever drafted? Is that what you're telling me?
Come on, let's move on. Come on, we
gonna do that at the time now?
No, wait.
what my client was trying to say.
The best 6th round
Was-
player ever.
What he's just trying to say is, dog, it's just from where he came from to what he is now is like, no, it's
No,
astounding.
but he told us so. He told Jokic probably the second best, or probably the best player in the 2nd round, bro.
Verbatim.
Jokic was the best 2nd round player 2 years ago,
He's
bro.
filling it up with some
He's
bullshit.
been in
No, is Jokic better than Embiid? I don't think that's a debate anymore at this point. Even Johnny could admit that, right? It's not a debate,
bro. We're talking about a whole Embiid is not even in the convo anymore. We're talking about is Jokic better than Steph Curry? Is Jokic better than Kevin Durant all time? That's what we're talking about.
All time? I'm here for that conversation.
Like we gotta start talking about we gotta start talking about who's better all time, Jokic or Giannis. Who's better all time, Jokic or KD? Jokic is in that conversation.
Well, okay, you know what?
Don't
That's only
Giannis got a
fair.
defensive player of the
Listen,
year
I'm
award?
gonna
That's
entertain
it.
that. No, listen, that's only fair, but you have to only include players with one ring because you can't do that with multiple ring players. It's only players you can.
That's why.
Like, I'll take
KD
that.
got.
Whoa,
He
got
got
one
one
ring,
ring. Let's
I'll
not
take
go
it.
crazy here.
Whoa, time out. I got the real debate. Listen, you can listen, this is gonna incorporate Giannis and all that. Where are we ranking Jokic as the top European player of all time? Where are we ranking him?
Man,
I still like Dirk.
I still like Dirk. Yeah,
Jokic is better than Dirk, bro. I don't care.
Jokic better than Dirk.
Give me Jokic. Yes.
Mar, what you say?
Jokic could score. Jokic could
Rebounds
score
and
like
assists.
Dirk and then give you the assist and the rebounds, and he was a better defender than Dirk. Give me Jokic over Dirk, bro. When we talk about
Not mad at that.
European players, it's between Jokic and Giannis at this point.
Okay.
I think it's Jokic.
There's a
Jokic.
lot of European players. I'm saying.
Yeah, it is.
One of them got to get another one.
No, we talk about just overseas and just like not from America. Then it's like a different because you got like Hakeem and all them guys, so it's like a different. You mean, but European, I think Jokic got European for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So are we not like all time? Because like you said, you would have to include Hakeem and all that. Tim Duncan.
Hakeem from
Duncan,
Africa, not
technically,
Europe.
Yeah.
you're European.
Africa,
Just only
bro.
European, not just okay. All right.
I say European.
All
I
right,
say
you know
European.
what? That's fine. All right, I'll take that.
Yeah,
That's fine. I can agree with that.
He's right. He
I
can
can
do
agree
everything.
with I can agree with that.
Listen, Mar and I are personally waiting for when Luka Doncic goes on a three-peat in the NBA Finals, and then I promise you never not gonna hear it. Shut up.
Well, when that day comes,
Yeah,
Kendrick,
because-
when that day comes, we can talk about that. But until
I know,
now,
I was trying to manifest. I'm trying to manifest. Let me manifest. Keep on me manifest. That's all.
I didn't say if. I said when. I didn't even say if. I said when.
I feel his manifest. I would say I had that same thought process when I was
gonna
judging
get. I think that's who we're gonna be talking about for the next 10 years or so. Luka versus Jokic. Those gonna be the guys. And Giannis will be there too.
And hold on.
Giannis will be there too.
Years.
What happened?
Jokic for the next 10 years?
That's a lot.
I'm
Why
talking about
not?
that's gonna be
Why
the
not?
combo for the decade. I'm
Why
not saying
not?
Jokic's gonna be winning MVP for 10 years. I'm talking about that's gonna be like you know what he had Bron and KD or like Bron and Curry.
Yeah.
Like Jokic, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the
We're
next.
talking about that in the overseas barbershops.
All right, that makes
The overseas barbershops. Chill out.
no, yeah. That's somewhere else, my fault.
And then when we talk about who could be like, I don't want to say it because only one chip. Like you right, it's only one chip. But when we talk about who could be the next dynasty, bro, Denver in a pretty solid position, bro. Because Jokic and Murray, they play so well together, and they're so consistent together. You know what you're gonna get from those two.
Jokic,
well, I tell you what, if he's doing that, they got, like I said, they just got to just supporting cast. They got to keep they got to keep building around the same two players. That's it. Just keep your consistency of your supporting cast, which is why I will have mentioned this before. The Nuggets, I've always mentioned their bench and how deep they were. It wasn't even, we already knew about Jokic and Murray. I was always astounded KCP 10 to 11 points per game that whole playoff run. Michael, the possession ends here, it's going up. Porter Jr. 15 points per game, but still 8 boards. Also, Aaron Gordon 13 points per game, Straps with the 6 boards. Bruce Brown 10 to 12 points a game, about 2 threes. So it's always been a supporting cast, and it was just better than their supporting cast. Gabe Vincent's 13 points per game didn't seem, he had his stints, but it just seemed like Michael Porter, like just their others were just better, bro. I've always said about the Nuggets others, bro. It's just always, they never had Hero, but I always said that about the Nuggets best. They keep building around those 2 stars, yeah.
Hold on.
But
I will say this about the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat would have been a little bit better offensively if they would have at least had Tyler Hero and Victor Oladipo.
Hey, well, can I ask you a question, Kendrick, from previous segments? Am I allowed from previous segments? Am I allowed to be impressed by Duncan Robinson now?
Bro, I just don't understand
good,
why you gotta be impressed. I mean, listen, I understand that
Listen.
he was playing bad for a moment, but I mean, come on. This isn't the first time somebody signed a big contract and then fell off a little bit and then had to pick it back up. You know?
Well, look,
it was just one of those days.
For the fans that didn't tune into to a couple podcasts ago, the Heat in the earlier playoff run, Tyler Hero had just got hurt, and Duncan Robinson came off the bench and he scored a couple threes. I was impressed by it. I kind of forgot about Duncan Robinson, and Kendrick told me, shoot. What's so impressive? I mean, well, yeah. I mean, 1 to 3 games is 1 to 3 threes a game is impressive if you're getting like 7 minutes. But his minutes increased, obviously. And over those 18 minutes a game, he was getting about, 9 to about 10 points per game, shooting well over 40%.
And it's not even just like,
he was impressive now.
He would score. He will go. It's not even like
here we go.
Duncan would score like 9 points in a row.
He was also getting. Coming off the dribble was great. I didn't know he was that good off the screen. He's a shooter, right, Kendrick?
Listen.
Can I be impressed now?
Listen, you can be impressed with him coming off the dribble. I promise you, that's cool. Because listen, I was impressed with every time he did it. But don't sit here. You are impressed about a shooter who came into league being known as a shooter. Like, come on, you can't be impressed knowing that this is his job and he's good at it. I mean, that's crazy.
He didn't have much of a cold streak. You know how shooters go cold, but you can be impressed.
That's how it is.
He didn't go too cold. He kind of shot consistent.
Just like the damn video.
Bro,
like
literally
interesting.
Bro, that's like literally being impressed with Duncan Robinson making threes is like being impressed Jokic can get an assist.
Oh, Jesus.
You impressed with Jokic
Jokic gets like 10 assists in like 8 minutes, then yes, with Duncan Robinson's minutes, then yes, that'd be impressive.
Wait, Johnny, hold on, Johnny. Wait, so let Mark
come on, bro. Go ahead, Mark.
I can be impressed.
Hold on, go ahead, Mark.
From my experience with Duncan Robinson, right?
Duncan Robinson.
I was. Now, look, I'm not promoting this, but I would usually put him on my FanDuel tickets, and that I just took his under every time, and it was always green. So when I told Chris this, I was like, bro, because Chris actually told me about him first. So I'm like, okay. But then when I play, he's just breaking it or he's just taking horrible shots, and it's like, okay, he can hit a shot, but can he hit shots to really bring his team back? So when he was doing in these playoffs, it had me impressed because I banged with that man.
That's all I wanted. That's it.
Yeah,
Speaking of sports betting, he covered me this playoff. So.
No, but what Mara was saying, it's not even just like Duncan was hitting threes. It seemed like he was always having a huge impact on every game they won. Like he would have a crazy stretch where they couldn't find any offense, and he would give them 10 straight, just like that. Like, and it'll be in the fourth quarter too. Like when they need them Jones to happen, Duncan was always there and ready to make sure it happened. Like he was great in the playoffs for sure.
Like come around, bam! I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I'm like, and I think that's the main thing with Miami. I know we talked about they had Hero and Oladipo, but they would have had a better chance if they were just hitting shots. And they've been hitting shots.
That's
all
also
playoffs.
True.
Yeah, they were hitting shots all playoffs. That's how they got there far. And then, unfortunately, they stopped hitting shots. And their offense is predicated on them hitting threes. If they're not hitting threes, their offense is terrible. It's just as simple as that. I will say I'm excited for next year, and I hope everybody's healthy because Denver was never really challenged
Yeah.
at all throughout these whole playoffs. And I feel like if the Clippers could have stayed healthy, they probably could have gave them something to work with. Or if they would have ended up playing Boston or Milwaukee in the finals, and Boston would have came off coming back 3-0 with a bunch of momentum, I think
Yeah.
Boston could have worked them a little more too. Like they cooked Miami was nothing. It wasn't even
Hold
challenging.
on, Mark saying no. Go ahead.
Why?
Everybody, time out. Let's go to Mar first, and then we're gonna pivot to Chris, and then we're gonna dish it to Johnny. That's how we're gonna do it.
Okay, so everybody knows I am very detailed. I'm a nitpicker. I'm not gonna lie. I pick my spot. Like, I go off of. I'm a very like you can't impress me easily, especially not with just a resume. So I say this a lot. Like with Giannis won his chip, I'm like, okay, Kyrie got hurt. KD's foot was on the line. When the Suns went to the finals that same season, I'm like, everybody they played was hurt. Denver was really like that. I don't feel like anything would
No,
have.
I'm not saying they didn't play any injured teams, but like a team like Milwaukee got eliminated
Yeah, they
in the first
did.
round because
No, but
they,
I'm like I
I
felt
guess Miami, but like Tyler Hill wasn't going to change nothing, bro.
I'm talking about they played the Suns hurt. They played the Suns hurt, but we're
Oh,
gonna
the
we're gonna
Suns, yeah, but the Suns weren't messing with them anyway, even if they were fully
Yeah,
healthy. I think
the
it would
Suns
have
just
been a
had
series.
Hold on. No. This is where I draw the line. We had people on this podcast picking the Suns to win the series and the Lakers to win the series.
I think before, Chris, you're right. Before the series, but then during the series, Denver showed us they're the better team. I didn't pick LA versus Denver though.
You know he was out for it. You know, seen out for it for Bron no matter what. But go ahead, Chris. You got any more to say?
Got swept.
I'm just
It felt good.
So see, by challenge you mean in the finals or just challenge overall?
The whole playoff, they really didn't. Bro, they swept LA. Their only challenge was really Phoenix, and Phoenix wasn't even that much of a challenge.
Could it be considered a challenge if they're just that good? Because
they were that good compared to those teams for sure. They were. I'm saying the team that you would expect, like Milwaukee and Boston, got eliminated. I'm not saying that they would have beat Denver, but I'm saying they would have given more of a fight than Miami.
How can you say that though? But how can you say that? Because Boston won 6 games with the Hawks. First of all, they're set with the damn Sixers.
But the thing with Boston is, we've seen this even last year. Boston is a team that rides off momentum, bro. And we saw last year when they were
game and runs.
Exactly, and we saw last year when Boston started the season terrible, and then they ended up going crazy. We saw they carried it over in the playoffs. We seen the same thing with Miami after the first round. They carried that momentum into the next 2 rounds. If Boston would have came back 3-0 against Miami, they would have came into that series with a lot of momentum. I'm not saying they would have won. I think Denver probably still would have won, but I'm saying Boston would have gave them a fight. Miami was just like, all right, y'all got it. After game 3, it was like, whatever, we lost.
No, I don't even think. They didn't give up.
They didn't give up, but they were just like, it was clear that Miami was outmatched in that series. Like they weren't going to beat Denver.
See, and that's the thing. I feel like I don't even think they were really out. Like, I mean, like if you look at it on paper, yes, they are outmatched. But if you really actually just like from how the series went, it was like if the Heat didn't shoot over 40% from 3, they weren't doing nothing to win the game. They couldn't because they didn't have that off. And they just didn't have the offensive power, and it was just like if they hit the open threes,
even with I've been saying this all playoffs really with Miami. I was like they can go as far as they want if they stay high. I said that after the Milwaukee series on this podcast. I said if they stay high, they can mess with anybody because they're hitting a bunch of threes. And I said when they stop hitting, we see what happens. Their offense is awful. They're not hitting threes. Because that's what it's predicated on. Even against Boston, when Boston came back 3-0, I was talking to my friends like, yo, Miami has like the ugliest offense out of all the teams available right now. Because they just rely on hitting crazy-ass shots. Bunch of threes. That's how they win. They're predicated on hitting threes. It's the same thing with Boston, too. That's why I always felt like Boston could never really win a chip for because they rely too heavily on hitting threes. But I think Boston would have gave them a better challenge than Miami did. Especially with how Miami was shooting in the series.
Okay.
With the West, I think they I think the Nuggets would have ended up beating these teams anyway, but I think the Clippers and the Warriors would have gave them the toughest shot too. And the Warriors obviously they got eliminated by the Lakers, and the Clippers dealt with their health stuff first round. But I'm excited for next year. I think that's going to really be the test for Denver because there's going to be more healthy teams. There's going to be better teams coming up on the rise.
We
hope
there's more healthy teams. We hope there's more
yes.
healthy teams.
We hope so.
We
There's
do.
a hope for that. We hope there's a hope.
Yeah,
for
bro.
that.
Steam just basically took my point because that's excellent, bro. Because in my opinion, I think Butler got gassed at the end. He was giving us 26, 27 points per game throughout the entire playoffs. If you want to discount those crazy 40 back-to-back 40-point performances, because those are stats by themselves. With the 2 steals, 6 boards, Bam gave us what he could with the double doubles, but I mean, I think they got gas, bro. I think they got gas. They just didn't have enough. And the thing about them is they're so tight defensively, it helped them get by a lot.
Their defense is always amazing.
Bad.
Their defense
like,
is
they
even
got
great.
bad, bro. If we don't score, we're going to make sure you don't score until we score.
Miami literally lost this series because of their offense, because their defense was great. They did an amazing job on Jamal Murray. They did an amazing job on Jamal. Jamal Murray didn't get off like he was in them other series. He only averaged 21 points, and he was still great. Like his playmaking was amazing, but they weren't letting him
utilize. He had like back-to-back 10 assist games.
But Miami, I don't even know what Chris, you would probably know better than me. Right? Denver only had like one game where they scored more than 110. Like Miami was playing great defense. It's just their offense couldn't hold up. It was like Brooklyn versus Philly, pretty much. Brooklyn played great defense, but their offense was terrible, so they weren't going to match up with Philly.
That's about right.
Okay. Listen, we about to move on to more off-season topics that we just, delve deep into why the Nuggets was better and why Jokic is the best center in the league and best player in the world right now and all that. So I'm gonna just ask a quick yes or no. I just want everybody to say yes or no. Do the Nuggets have the possibility to become the next dynasty in the NBA like the Warriors were? Or /are?
Started off with Chris. Just get it out the way.
Give me a hell yeah.
Okay. All right, Stone Cold. Team, what you thinking?
Man, I can't say a team is going to be a dynasty off of one ring. I mean, they got the guys are still relatively young. They can keep it up. I mean, I don't see why not, but like, a dynasty, I can't predict dynasty. Like, it's impossible to predict. Like, you weren't predicting the Warriors are going to be a dynasty after their first ring.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
It's hard to predict anything.
You can't predict it.
Okay, so you're I got you.
Yeah, like I can't.
Johnny?
Chris, you say hell yeah. I say hell maybe.
Okay. Maybe. That's a crazy hell maybe though.
For the point, hell maybe. For the points that we mentioned before, I mean, no shade, but leave my guy alone, leave my MVP alone. But anyway, for the points that we just mentioned, if they keep building around the obvious 2 stars, and that can step up, if your supporting cast can stay consistent, y'all, I can believe it. But like Steam said, a lot of teams are coming back this year. I like what the Kings did. I do. I mean, LeBron's not done with the Lakers.
You saw that
Warriors.
You saw the Kings the Kings are interested in getting Bill. If they can,
bro, it's a lot. But to Team's point, a lot of teams are coming back. A lot of that, what I'm saying. I don't want to say.
Bill has a no trade clause in his contract, so he can agree to where he wants to go to.
Exactly, like the Kings are. That's what I'm saying.
But,
Bill pretty much going where he a free agent. Pretty much, he can go wherever he want right now.
Yeah. Okay, Mar.
So hell maybe.
Hell maybe.
The potential, I'm gonna say yeah, and for the simple fact, I'm gonna say yeah because I didn't really consider the Warriors a dynasty. So, in my opinion, I feel like they could be better than the Warriors. So,
you don't think the Warriors are a dynasty? Like they were.
Yeah. Wait. Why not though?
That's.
Why would they be a dynasty?
Wow.
I mean, the amount of times they've gone to the finals, the amount of times they won in the span of like 10 years, to say like a decade of how dominant you could say they were. Because, I mean, I saw a fact. It was like the last, I think, 13 finals or 14. They either included the Heat or the Warriors, except for 1 year.
They got 4 rings in 8 years, bro.
That's impressive. That's half and like that's you got to give impressions of that. No,
Mark got more to say.
I don't. We need to Steph Curry win before you got Kevin Durant.
Okay, it's because of Kevin Durant. That's why you're like, oh, they're not really a dynasty.
My
They
point.
gotta
Man,
get.
'cause the
They
team
won.
got-
They won 4 rings.
My
That's a
point.
dynasty.
Not easily. Like, I look at things differently. Like everything doesn't impress me. I look at things as a whole. So to me, that's not. They didn't even win 3 in a row. I consider you a
The
dynasty.
Spurs never. You consider the Spurs a dynasty because they never won 2 in a row.
They sure did.
So are they a dynasty?
No.
You got
Really?
it. What? A dynasty is based on consistency of wins in a row. It's a tough league. How about just add the rings up?
But it happened though, so it's possible. So
Oh, okay.
So their only dynasty in NBA history to you is the Chicago Bulls.
And Lakers.
The Lakers never won 3 in a row.
And
Yes, they did.
Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah, Kobe and Shaq. Yeah.
So you gotta win 3 in a row to be a dynasty.
And you know what?
Wait,
That's tough.
hold on. You said you got Michael Jordan. You said Kobe. If Brown would have beat the Mavericks, that would have been 3 in a row because then he beat OKC and then the Spurs. So it's possible. And then KD got hurt, so they would have beat Toronto. So that would have been 3 in a row. So it's very possible. So I'm just not easily impressed. So I look at it differently.
Okay.
That's
So
okay.
let me clarify this just so we can clarify it. So to you, when you consider a dynasty, is a team being able to win to three-peat? Is that a dynasty?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
We had a segment before about whether we thought a three-peat was ever going to happen again, and by that theory, I don't think it'd be tough if we're going to see a dynasty again anytime soon. Might be coming close, but I'm not
cool. You can't say we'll never
wouldn't
see
believe
it
it.
again.
I mean, it's a new league, but like I
don't
said,
know.
you hear the names we said. We said Michael Jordan, we said Kobe, possibly LeBron. And then KD and them could have done it. So
Very true.
I don't expect everybody to do it.
Okay.
All it takes is one more team.
I felt like
Colin.
it happened before, but I mean, I don't know. But
Yeah.
The Celtics with Bill Russell in there.
but I mean, it could have happened back then too. But I felt like it
Very
happened.
true.
But that's how.
Talking about a three-peat?
Yeah, but maybe
Yeah, and Bill Russell won like 8 in a row or something like that.
I mean,
I think there's only 3 though: the Celtics, Bulls, and Lakers.
That's impressive though. Those are some historical franchises. I'll be honest.
I mean,
Colin,
yeah.
with the Nuggets have the potential to be a dynasty, yes or no?
Yes, they do. But I love to see what the other teams do this offseason in terms of the free agency and who they trade.
Here we go again. He did it again. He freaking did it again, yo.
Chris, you
you
gotta let it go.
Yeah,
You gotta let it
yeah.
go, Chris. This is all he's gonna do. You gotta let it go.
Chris, he didn't do it again. Chris, he didn't. He didn't.
Yes!
He didn't do it.
Yes, Chris.
Yes. And then I said, but let's see what the other teams do this offseason. That's it.
Chris just wants him to give the acknowledgement.
Chris, I'm surprised he said yes.
I said yes.
I said no. I said no, maybe.
Personally, I am going to say no that they can become a dynasty just because I simply don't think they will have the capability to win consecutive championships back to back just because how the league is turning out and just because of how stacked just how stacked everything is and just how at any possible moment anything can change. So I will personally say no to them being a dynasty and no to them being able to hold all of their core support players around, because if their support players start overly playing well, like let's say a Michael Porter Jr. has a breakout season, do you really think he wants to stay behind and be that third superstar or third star with Jamal Murray and Jokic?
He has 3 years. He has 3 years left on his deal. So where's he gonna go?
You think can we see more times?
I mean, he can always request a trade, but don't act like that's not a real thing. Like people don't request trades or things happen.
More times
I
than
brought
not,
that up in the argument.
your guys gonna stay. Like more times than not, if you're winning, you're more prone to keeping your guys.
That's not always true. I mean, you've always seen the Warriors have like people win and then.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's usually the case.
That's fair.
All right. Well, since we've gotten past the Nuggets, we can stop talking about them, and because they deserve all the talking about. I'm just saying, like, they took over a lot. So listen, we're going to move on to teams that lost, teams that did terrible, teams that fired their head coaches because they had to go.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about the coaches signing and all these hirings. Like, listen, let's talk about the Detroit Pistons hiring Monty Williams. Is that a good signing?
Yes, it is. Yes.
It's a good signing on both sides. Monty needed a fresh start. I think Aiden's still looking for him. Them boys about to fight like twice. And that's Aiden's still looking for him. That's a great start for Monty. Move to the East.
I think what he does with Cade, Jaden, whoever they draft in this draft too, James Wiseman, Isaiah Stewart. Yeah, I definitely love to see what they do in the definitely upcoming years though. I think, and then he has
I'm
time.
interested to see if young talent, can he work with young talent? That's what I'm looking for. I'm trying to see what type of coach he's actually going to be.
Yeah, he's been
like on this time around.
He's been a young talent. He was with young CP.
Yeah,
I think he was with he was before CP even got there. Like he's coaching
does good with young players.
Right. Yeah. So
CP and Booker is all you need to know that Monty's going to be a good hire for the Pistons.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think Monty's a coach you want as a contender, but like for a young team like Detroit trying to come up on the rise, I think Monty's a great hire for them. 6 years is a bit much. Yeah.
Okay, Mar, you got anything on the Monty Williams talk?
I feel like he is a good chemistry player coach, but like Sim said, I don't think he's the type of way I feel about him.
Okay. Let's move on. We're going to move on to the Houston Rockets. They hired freak. No, I ain't gonna draw on him. I ain't even gonna do too much with him. They hired it. I mean, Udoka.
How you say it right? Yeah, Ime Udoka.
So, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on that hire? What's your thoughts? Let me hear
Houston.
What'd you say, Steve?
I said I like it. I don't know. I didn't know if he asked me or you, but go ahead, Colin.
Oh, I mean, I definitely like it for Houston. Definitely a coach is going to hold that young team accountable, especially on the defensive end. Then whatever they draft with the 4th pick too. Then with Jalen, Sagoon, Jabari Smith. We don't know if James Harden still wants to go to Houston or not. We don't know about that situation. If that even makes sense, to be honest with you. But hey, Harden's all about the money right now. So, but I don't think Houston would even want to give him that money anyway. So even if he did want to go, but I think it's a great coach for the team, especially this young team.
You don't see all the reports with Houston, bro. I think they're ready to pay somebody. Somebody getting paid.
Jalen Green really be hype about. He was kind of playing.
It's not about what he wants. There's a bunch of reports that they want to get Harden, Kyrie as a backup plan. They talking about. I think they want an all-star type guy over here in Houston.
So what do you do with you really gonna trade the young guys? So what you trade?
I think they're gonna have him with them. Like they're gonna try. They're trying to make the playoffs, bro. They trying to make something.
I was surprised about. Yeah, I was surprised when Houston was shooting so early. I was surprised it was shooting.
They going for Harden, bro. Like that's
definitely heard his Kyrie's a backup.
If I'm Houston, I'm not going for Harden.
It just wows me to think that Harden still gets this. We need to make the playoffs. Let's get James Harden type of.
Because he can get you to the playoffs.
Why does he get I still don't understand. Like he's not your answer to getting through the playoffs. Why is he still? Teams are still backing up, still trying to sell their house for him.
Right. Listen. I'll tell you why. James Harden will still continue to get highly recruited and highly looked at in them
because of 2016.
No, bro. You're being so unrealistic right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's like he can perform. He is a good player. He can distribute the ball, control the offense, and do X, Y, and Z. He can do all things, and also he can get you to the playoffs.
Not
That's what I'm
through,
saying.
but to.
Yes, he can get you to there. But then there's a certain switch that you have to do with him and have that other superstar who actually can take over and lead the charge while he's your support man. That's what I'm saying. That's what it actually has to be. And that's how it has to work with James Harden, because you've seen over and over and over and over and over again that this man can't perform after game 4 of any NBA playoff. No matter first, second, any round, it don't matter. First, second, or third round, it don't matter. It don't matter because he can't perform after game 4. So it's like we like that, and we can utilize how good you are for those games to try and steal or do something. But we need a co-superstar who actually can take over if we have to go past 4 games. Because after 4 games, I'm only looking at James Harden to give me 20 assists and 15 points. Please and thank you. That's all I want you to do, because that's all you're really only going to give me. That's all you're really only going to give me. And I'm not going to get on this high horse about James Harden, because that's all. It's just not necessary. James Harden can get you to the playoffs. He can't do nothing else after that but get you there.
So, are you agreeing? So, how much money are you willing to give him?
I mean, you gotta look. He still gotta earn. He gotta earn at least 20, maybe 25 mil max.
Who's gonna give
mil
James Harden worthy money?
25 mil max.
This feels like, I don't know.
Like better than average, but not crazy max money. He'll get James Harden money, whatever that means. Like
James Harden, whatever.
He'll get James Harden worthy money.
Harden
Like better than average, but not that good.
Harden get the next team? I don't know.
Yes, I think.
Listen, if he in Texas, they don't got state tax, so he gonna get good money anyway.
I know, Mark. Like, I just got
y'all have to prepare for it now. Y'all gonna be mad, but Philly's gonna offer him a crazy contract, and he's gonna be a Sixer.
Well, Daryl Morey.
I promise you.
I can't wait. That's the guy. So
what?
I can take Daryl Morey.
Y'all gonna pay him. y'all can't do anything else. What y'all gonna do?
Stop.
Hold on, time out.
Do Johnny? You gonna just let him walk? Nobody?
I'm not.
Y'all
if that
y'all gonna pay him.
Oh my god!
I'm not trying to bring up
this segment again.
The Sixers don't have another choice.
But
if this segment ends up manifesting, I'm gonna snap on this show the next upcoming NBA season.
The Sixers are gonna pay him this summer, bro.
Mark, what's your thoughts on the Houston Rockets pickup of Udoka? Talking about signing James Harden. What's your thoughts on that? I need to know.
That's crazy.
If you sign Udoka, I feel like you're going in a direction. And then if you sign James Harden, you're going like 100 steps back. So
thank you. What?
Add up. Them signing any superstar just doesn't add up to me. Like I don't care who it is. It doesn't make any sense. Like didn't they have like the 3rd pick? They just had like
they got 3rd or 4th.
And this draft class, the top 5 is pretty nice.
Picked up Kevin Porter when like no one else wanted him, so I don't know what they're trying to do with that. They don't even want Jalen more. Like
Jalen Green doesn't even want him over. To be honest with you, he really doesn't.
That's cool, but he doesn't hold that weight to say no.
Sagoon, that's his team now.
I think I'm a little less against it than y'all are, just because I believe in your young guys needing to play competitive basketball in order to get better, and I think bringing in Harden makes Houston a competitive team at the very least.
So what type of
those younger guys in position to start? I would rather go for another guy, probably like someone who maybe fits the timeline a little more and still makes us a little better. But I mean, James Harden will still make them a more competitive team. They'll be in games more, and it'll make those young guys better in those situations. Like you can't just be losing and building losing habits. Like, you're not going to learn anything from it. You're not going to get better.
Well, then what type of is James Harden a great role model? You would want him to be around your young players? I mean, yes, he could probably show.
Bro, it's not about being a role model, bro. It's not about being a role model. It's about getting them there.
And it's about having somebody like just having that type. James Harden is one of the best players of all time. Regardless if he's hold up to that caliber or not, having somebody like that for them to look at, like, oh, this is James Harden.
Look,
like,
man, I will say
the
way he makes every center better everywhere he goes. Alfred Sengun was a double-double before him. So, like, from Clint Capella to DeAndre Jordan to any center he plays with, he gets them a contract, or their numbers just exceed like that. So he plays very well. I will
He
say that.
also
He's
plays
gonna
with a
make money.
lob threat. How you know that? I can't even think of his name. How you know that Alex is that?
Honestly, I wouldn't. I think Arden's gonna stay either anyway, but I think they should go and get like a D'Angelo Russell or somebody, just somebody to play that point guard, an actual real point guard who's gonna run your offense and make sure
Man, I
guys
can't wait
can
till
rock.
we got to talk about these offseason moves.
With KPJ is good, but he's not like he's going up there trying to get buckets. Like, he's not trying to pass the ball. Like it's kind of like how the Bulls were playing. Like we were just having Zach Levine and DeMar be the playmakers for us, and they were just going out there trying to score. Like they need a guy like D'Lo or a guy like Harden who's gonna look to get guys involved.
Okay. Chris, you got anything you want to say?
Yep. I think it's a terrible hire. I don't like it.
Oh,
Why is that?
Because they're just certain. Well, as of right now, it's still vague to know what Ime Udoka can do with the rebuilding team. But over history, it's just been examples where just some coaches in certain situations just don't fit. Here's an example. When Frank Vogel was coaching the Indiana Pacers, he was considered a great coach, an up and coming great coach as well. He was considered to lead that team to a championship, et cetera, et cetera. Now, things outside of his reason, but also him included, they were not able to achieve that success. He goes down to Orlando, who at the time is a rebuilding team, and wets the bed. Another example, Larry Brown coached the Detroit Pistons during their mid-2000s after he finished coaching the 76ers. Won them a chip, and they were constantly competing for the NBA Finals. Whether they won it or not, they were always at least in the Eastern Conference Finals. He leaves, takes a job with the Charlotte Bobcats, wets the bed. Sometimes you put in a high-caliber coach in a rebuild situation just does not work. So what I see from this Ime Udoka thing going on, and just from the fact that I'm hearing that Houston has all this money with a path to superstar guys, Ime Udoka wants to rebuild the team. Why you want to rebuild a rebuilding team? Why the hell are you there then?
I'm pretty sure that's something
See, honestly, I do have to agree where you're coming from, because honestly, I feel like he would have been better suited. Now looking at all the coaches that coaching changes that has come available, he literally, the three better option he had, I'm going to have to say the Sixers, because I mean we have potential to maybe do something in the playoffs if, I don't know, they're gonna win maybe one time, please, for me. Before I die, can you just please win one time? Please, God, let them win one time, please. But that I'm not gonna get into my soapbox. I'm not gonna get in my soapbox with it. I'm not gonna get in my soapbox with it. Listen, I'm not gonna get in my soapbox, okay? The other team that was also potential was the Suns when they got KD, because they're in a win right now and they can do something, and also the Milwaukee Bucks. Those three teams was most likely been the best choice if he would have waited it out.
If he would have waited, but he signed this contract way back when, before all these guys even got fired. So he probably wasn't thinking, oh, the Bucks is going to fire Mike, the Sixers going to fire Doug. Like, yeah.
Also true, but I mean, again, nobody knows Ime Udoka's situation, but I feel like him going to the Rockets, I feel like he's going to try to implement his strategy and be like, this is how you need to play, and this is how we're going to play. And when you're talking like that around a bunch of 21, 22-year-olds, they don't want to listen. They're just trying to hoop. Honestly,
I can't believe good. Boston is a young team.
Yes, but Boston was also
older in their 20s,
team. Right, and they had veteran help on that team. Who's the veteran in Houston?
I think me at this point.
What, Kenny Martin Jr.?
Kenny Martin Jr.
I think I like it because I feel like, I mean, obviously we won't know until it happens, but like I feel like Ime is a guy who can get over, like he can get into, like he could tap into a Jalen Green and make sure, like, all right, this is how you do it the right way. Like the way you playing is not how we're gonna do it. He's the guy who's gonna be like, we need a real point guard, or we need to play defense. Like he's gonna get guys fired up. Like whether you going not like having that Boston team turn the season around like they did, that's part of Ime too, in terms of getting guys to want to play hard and play better. And I think you can get that same type of vibe with the Rockets too. And you see guys are starting, like Kevin Porter Jr. came to his press conference or whatever. Like, you see guys are starting to look and be like, okay, this is a coach I can mess with. I don't want to bring race into it, but like sometimes young black players need a black coach they can relate to.
They had a black coach.
But he
Steve
wasn't
Bro,
like, man,
bro, listen.
Yo, Chris
Chris,
is just.
Chris, no, you made a
Is
very
Steven
valid.
is Steven Styles not black? I'm sorry, am I looking at
Styles,
am
but
I
Steven
colorblind?
But
you mean like Steven
let's
Styles, like he wasn't getting them. They wasn't respecting Steve Styles. He lost the locker room, bro. They wasn't respecting him. Even as a
I
guy who's
think
going to demand respect in the locker room.
he's also going to get it because listen, he's won enough and been to somewhere they're like, man, I don't know. He might know what he's talking about over this dude over here. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. They might give him the respect off of just the fact that we've seen him do something before, and we are now in his range to possibly do it again. So I feel like
I think it's a step in the right direction for Houston, but I think Houston's problem, like obviously Steven Styles wasn't good, but like they're probably missing the coach. It's that front office. They need to figure out what to do because they're trying to rebuild, but they don't want any vets there. Now you have all these players building bad habits, and they're not going to improve that way. You gotta. It starts at the top where you're thinking like, all right, we need to get some vets to help these young guys out, or like they sitting there being bad on purpose. Like when they had John Wall, a former All-Star point guard who could teach your young guard, a guy like him for a year, you could teach him a thing or two. You talk about some John Wall don't even come to the games, don't even come to practice. Like what is that? Don't come to practice. Don't travel with us. You don't even want him traveling with y'all. That's a vet right there who's had success with a franchise, with leading a franchise. And you don't want him teaching young guys nothing at all. You don't want him to travel with y'all. But that's terrible management. It starts with the top, bro.
It does start with the top, but I feel like a better coach in the situation, you can give somebody, and again, I can't believe I'm going to say this, Brett Brown, a team like this. I mean, Brett Brown coached the losing team in the Sixers all the time, and I mean, he coached them to the playoffs, whether it was his whether I can't, what's the way I'm saying, whether it was because of him or not, he did coach them to the playoffs. Or why not give like somebody a chance? Sam Cassell a chance instead of him going to the Celtics. Ryan Saunders a chance, another assistant coach. I mean, you could just give somebody a chance in the situation. Yes, they got Steven Styles. I don't know Steven Styles' background, but there are also other coaches, young coaches, who just want a chance. Just give them a chance with the Rockets. If they develop and they grow with them, then you can swap him out and get somebody different. A more established coach. But I feel like putting an established coach in a rebuild situation just is like mixing water with oil. That's just me.
Okay. I respect it. I'm not gonna knock it. We're gonna move on to these teams. We gonna listen. Honestly, I gotta hit the Sixers and the Suns at the same time because I thought both of these hires were terrible. But that's just my thoughts on it. We can take it one at a time. I'll pass it to anybody. You can either talk about the Suns, the Sixers, or both.
Start with
maybe Mar.
Start with Mar first, and then we swing it to Johnny.
My bad. Can you repeat that? That's on though.
Nah, you good, Doug. You good. So I brought up the Sixers and the Suns because I personally think that both hires that they made were terrible. But I'm passing it off to everyone else. Mar, you gonna go first? You can either talk about the Sixers, talk about the Suns, talk about both, whatever you feeling. I just want to know your thoughts.
The Suns got Frank Vogel, correct, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Y'all got Nick Nurse.
Yes, sir.
Might as well just skip me.
That's crazy.
That says it. That says it.
All right.
I'm glad.
I understand.
Listen. Look.
I mean, what can you say? Well, all right. I mean, I don't even want to get into Frank. That's just ugly. I mean, this is a children's show to some extent, right? And the things I'm talking. Oh, I don't even get into Frank. But anyway, Nick Nurse.
What's wrong with Frank?
But what? What's wrong with Frank? He's been out. First of all, I actually thought there was a time where I thought he was a good coach, and it took me a while to find out that he's just not good. At first, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt because he wasn't on the best teams with the best players. Like even all the way back with the Pacers, like they were like overhyping certain players that were better than what they really were. Like
because the coach made them better than what they were.
Well,
it's the system.
no,
The defense.
I ain't like
Vogel is a great defensive coach.
Yeah, you know what? I'm probably looking at it at one side because offensively, I never seen like even with the and he. I think he was just with the Lakers at a bad time. I think he got with the
The
Lakers at a
Lakers
bad
built a
time, man.
terrible roster, bro.
They did. That's what I said. It
That was
was a
a
bad
terrible
time, bro,
season.
and that's why I was giving him the benefit of the doubt to some extent. It's like a halfway with that because he never. I never. I think the best player he had probably was like if not. Did he? Was he there when Brown was there?
The Lakers, he won a chip with Brown, bro.
Yeah, he definitely was. So other than Paul George, that's about it. I mean,
Bubble.
but I don't like Frank Vogel. I might be looking at this one sided, but I don't think he's like. This is an offensive league, and you have to score. I've seen it. I don't see much success from defensive minded coaches. I don't see consistent success. Like, I have
So
defensive
Johnny,
coaches that I like.
before you finish, so do you like the Nick Nurse hire for Philly?
No,
All right, cool. I just wanted to make sure it was consistent because Nick
not
Nurse
at
the
all. I
same way.
can't
He's a
stand.
defensive
He's
minded
worse.
coach.
He's worse. He had better players, and I think he was hiding behind talent to some extent.
Wait,
He's
John.
actually the opposite. I felt
No,
bad for Frank. I think
Nurse is
Nurse
a
had
great
better
coach.
players that
I'm not gonna
carried
lie.
him
I'm not
above
gonna
his
lie.
coaching.
Nurse is a great coach because he makes adjustments that change. He makes like game changes, series changes, and adjustments. But the thing with Nick Nurse is I don't think Sixers' problem was their defense. Sixers' problem was their stagnant offense, and I don't think Nurse is the guy to fix that problem. But the
Yeah.
thing with Nurse is he's creative. That's something that's like that the Sixers could use some creativity in their whole style of play. So like with Vogel, I think I think Vogel will be good for them, bro, if they get the right pieces that play defense. Because I think having Book and KD, they could carry your offense along with them two. You have Vogel's defensive system behind those two, and the Suns can play a great defense alongside having KD and Booker on offense. I think Vogel was a great sign up for them.
Okay.
Championship
What?
coach too, won a chip.
He's with this pop. Yeah, he's with a better team this time around. He's like,
He won a
he's with a
chip,
good team
and it's not
again.
even
He's with a
like,
good team. He's with a
and
good
even with that,
contending team again this time around. So
yeah, even with that bubble team, you could see the adjustments he made throughout the whole playoffs that made them a better team. Like versus Denver, starting Dwight Howard, so he could be matched up with Jokic, and then they start Caruso that series too, or maybe it was a different series, but like there was a series against Houston where they started Markieff Morris,
they
which was a
did.
little
They
bit
started
smaller.
key. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was another series. It might have been Denver too. They started Caruso too
Yeah.
to guard Jamal Murray. Like he was doing a bunch of stuff to make them a better team. Like Vogel knows what he's doing, bro, for sure.
He better than Nick.
Nah, I love Nick, but because I think Nick is one of the most creative coaches in the league, and that's what I love in a coach is creativity and be able to think of stuff and try stuff just to be like what teams were. I mean, the Miami was running zone, but I feel like versus the Warriors running that box and one. What NBA team is running box and one? You
That's
know what I'm
crazy.
saying? If you go back and watch that bubble series with Toronto and Boston, Nick Nurse and Brad Stevens were going back and forth, just coming with a bunch of different stuff, a bunch of different creative ways to win that series. Like with the even though Nick Nurse might have his questions on offense, like I think with the Raptors they won, but I think just because Kawhi was just that good, like he was going to get your offense, he was going to get your offense over the top, and that's why I believe in Phoenix because they have KD and Book who can just get your offense over the top. I think what something the Sixers needed was just some creativity. And even though I don't think Nurse is going to be the guy to make them a championship team or nothing like that, I think Nurse is definitely a clear upgrade from Doc Rivers. He's still one of
But
the best coaches in the league too.
I definitely want to point out the year after, even when Kawhi left, when Kawhi wasn't on the team, he still took the Raptors as the second team in the East. They were 53
Yeah.
and 19. So that
And
speaks
they just took
volumes.
around. They took Boston to 7 games.
They had no clear superstar on their team. So it
Yeah.
was just like, and now you got at least Joel. If James Harden wants to stay, and you got Maxey, then he utilizes his bench too. That's something Doc never really does.
Yeah,
So
I'm a little interested to see if Harden actually does stay, what Nick Nurse can do with the offense. Because I don't think Nurse had a offense this dynamic in terms of just talent alone. Because we've seen what Harden and Embiid pick and roll can do and unlock, and we only seen the base of it. Because Doc wasn't doing much with it. He just ran that pick and roll, had everybody standing around. I think you put
right.
Nick Nurse, who's more creative, and we haven't seen him do anything crazy on offense yet. But I think having a Harden and Embiid can make him start to think of new ways on offense. Like, all right, what else can we unlock behind this pick and roll and having Tyrese Maxey off the ball and stuff like that, and just keep getting great players around that. We'll see what the Sixers do, man. I like the hiring for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, I like the hiring for the Sixers. I mean, just based off that, like I said, he's going to utilize the pieces on this bench. That's something Dot never really did. And like Seam said, he makes in-game adjustments. We saw it against the Celtics series. So I definitely feel like
Excellent point, Seam. My fault, C. Go ahead. What you gonna say?
no, definitely no. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm excited. I mean, then it all depends on if James Harden wants to come back. Honestly, he's like the make or break piece for the Sixers.
Yeah.
At this point.
I'm
You know,
not, even though the Sixers y'all might be mad at Harden, but y'all have to bring him back because y'all aren't going to upgrade from him, and y'all are trying to win a
right?
championship.
Because
So
there's
Harden's
no
the guy
other
you
point
keep.
in the market. There's no
Yeah,
other
Y'all
point.
not going to upgrade. Harden's still a top
And-
25 player, so like there's no point in letting him walk just because. Like you have to bring him back.
Yeah.
Well, maybe a defensive minded coach can actually prove maybe he can actually win. Hopefully, because I'm just I don't like defensive minded coaches in this day and era don't have much success. A lot of ones from maybe I don't know, Thibs had a good year finally.
Frank
This
Vogel just
past
won a
season.
championship with the Lakers. I think if you had
I'm thinking about Quinn Snyder firing. Who other defensive minded coaches really don't I feel like all right, Vogel getting a chip. That's it.
Nurse has a chip with the Raptors.
So
That lucky shot.
compared to all other offensive minded coaches with championships, is Mike Malone considered a defensive minded coach?
Malone is both. Malone's offensive. He's
Yeah,
a great
I would
both
say
sides. Like,
one of the rare ones. But
Quinn
yeah,
Snyder is still in the Hawks actually.
but Eric Spoelstra, we've seen Spoelstra more like he can do stuff on offense too. Like the Spo is predominantly a defensive minded coach. He's a good offensive coach too, but
yeah, you got to sell me on these defensive coaches in this day and era.
All right, Kendrick, yeah. Kendrick's audio out. Chris, you got anything you wanted to? Oh, Kendrick's back.
Chris, you got anything you want to say, or are we gonna happy in silence?
I mean, what is it that I can say that y'all already have said?
Fair.
I like the Nick Nurse hiring more so than like the Frank Vogel hiring. I really don't like that, and I don't like that because I feel like it's an odd fit because, and I can't even say it's Frank Vogel's fault. I just think it's the perception of him since I brought up his Indiana days. Just based off that, I don't know how well he will be able to mesh with the Phoenix Suns. Again, he's going to a situation where, as of right now, he might not have DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul to start next year. So now you're only dealing with both Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. Now you have to figure out a way to build around that, however that goes. Now, what you about to say?
I feel like if they go for some more defensive-minded pieces around Book and KD, I think we've seen in the playoffs, Book and KD alone can give you a great offense. Phoenix offense is great all playoffs. With just having those two, I think if you get some more defensive-minded guys that Vogel could work with, I think you have a great roster.
I mean, definitely need more defense, but at the same time, we saw Devin Booker really try to carry the Suns on his back and Kevin Durant not show up. So I think it'd also be helpful to have another shot creator on that team that you can actually go to.
You need some offense too. I'm saying in terms of just with Frank Vogel, the hiring and what they can do with that. I'm just saying, obviously, you're going to need guys who can make shots. You're going to need guys who can create shots. But what I mean in terms of just offense, Vogel's not going to have to do that much on offense because KD and Book create so much on offense. They're offensive hubs. They're going to get you open shots. They're going to get you opportunities to score.
Okay.
So
I can agree with that.
Draw up a bunch of crazy different plays in there like that because they have those too.
Okay, I can agree with that. I would say when it comes to Nick Nurse, while I do like the hire, I do agree with Seam. Honestly, y'all put yourselves in this position. It's not going to work unless James Harden comes back. Because who are you going to get to replace that value? Let's just say you go out and get Bradley Beal. Okay, so you got Bradley Beal and Tyrese Maxey in the backcourt. On paper, that sounds good. Who's going to play make out of them? Like who's going to play make? Tyrese Maxey's a good player, no doubt.
Bradley Beal is a good playmaker, but he's not James Harden. Like James Harden's one of the best facilitators in the league.
Yeah. Right, and we saw also the past 2 years after Bradley Beal had back-to-back years of scoring close to or over 30 points a game, he's regressed. Now I'm not saying he's bad, no doubt he's dead. He's still good for 20 a night, no doubt. But if you get Bradley Beal, just think of that contract that you're taking on. So you can't make any other moves if you're adding another player on.
235 is crazy though.
That's a lot of
Yeah,
money to take. That's a lot of money.
Whoever gets Bill is. That's why I don't think Sixers. I mean, shit. If y'all can get
Bill to the Rockets.
No, I think Bill. I think Bill to a team like Miami or Sacramento makes sense because they're not going to get anybody anyway. Like Miami's not good. Miami can't go out and find anybody, and the Kings, Sacramento's not really an attractive destination spot for most stars. So their way of getting a star is getting a Bradley Bill. I think Bill will fit right into the Kings too. I think that's like my ideal. If Bill gets traded this offseason, I would love him to go to the Kings because he could fit right into what they do.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Listen, man, I'm excited for this. I'm excited for all season. I'm excited for the draft. I'm just excited. We'll definitely be back with definitely another episode, especially with the off-season moves, and we'll see how every team, pretty much stabilizes the team moving forward. So, anyone else wants to say anything else before we end off the episode? Nothing else.
Happy Juneteenth, good people. Juneteenth, shout out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Happy Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth. So with that being said, we end off episode 114 of the Restricted Zone podcast. Kendrick was an amazing mediator and host. Appreciate you, Kendrick. Shout out to Mari, Chris, Seam, and Johnny. Thanks a lot for everyone on this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoy this episode as much as we enjoyed recording this episode. Stay tuned for another Restricted Zone episode. Next time will be WWE. An episode focusing on the draft a little bit before, which is actually next Thursday. So be on the lookout for that. And with that being said, you can follow us on all streaming platforms. We're talking about Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. We're out there and we're free. You don't got to pay a dime. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe, and leave a like. Definitely share it out with your friends. And all we ask is for a like and comment just to subscribe. We push the algorithm out. So with that being said, enjoy the rest of your episode. Enjoy the rest of your day. And definitely, hopefully, you guys enjoy this episode. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank God this shit over. I gotta take a shit.